Good morning, traders. This is today's Traders Daily Discipline. It is the 13th of August, 2025. I'm your host, Jason Allen. Thanks again for coming. And I'd like to say hello and welcome to brand new listeners. Had some signups here recently, so thanks for coming, guys. I hope you like the content. If you haven't had a chance to check out my online library of complete educational content that I've developed over my entire trading career, that's at netwinningtrader.com. That's the host of my content, our broadcasts, and all the meetup and all the good stuff that we have to help traders every day. So I'd love you to check that out if you're interested. And hopefully, meeting every day like this is giving you some insight and some additional help, which is the whole point. I think the community is really important. And to that end, I wanted to use today's time to uh, to just touch on something that I think is important for everyone. So here's today's quote to get us started. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. But the really great make you feel that you too can become great. And that was said by, of all people, Mark Twain, who, of course, that was a pen name for Samuel Clemens. Many people don't know this, but Samuel Clemens was an avid trader in Chicago Board of Trade Products in the 1850s, 60s, 70s until he passed away, which I think was shortly after the Civil War. I think in the 1880s. I don't remember exactly, but he was a strong proponent of trading in corn and wheat and soybeans, and he believed that earning gains was a factor of understanding the nature of how traders participate. He was way ahead of his time in that regard. And he believed that if he could only find out when the other side was going to switch sides, that would be where the biggest gains could be. Um, I don't have a lot of detail on Mark Twain, but I'm sure you can find it on the web, his trading background. But I'll be happy to pass on what I have to anybody who's interested. In any case, what I thought was important about this particular quote to get us started for today is that traders, every one of us has a story how we got to be where we are. And that story is part of our legacy, our thinking. It's part of our personhood. It's very real to us. And when I got started in this business, doing my very first trade in 1986, I've been trading 40 years now, almost 40 years. I did very little education and training to get to that point because I all I knew was that there was money to be made, and I'd met some pit traders and guys that were locals. Oh yeah, great way, uh, wonderful. How do I do it? And you open an account and start doing it. And so I listened to my broker and lost a lot of money over the first year or so. But I knew it's what I wanted to do, and I started asking the same questions everybody does. Well, how do you find out if the market's too high or too low? How do you do this? How do you do that? And one day I asked the question, who is the greatest trader that ever lived? And pretty much the only answer I got was Jesse Livermore. So I studied Jesse Livermore for a while. And one of the things that impressed me about Livermore is that, he started trading in bucket shops when he was a kid, when he was 13. He didn't go to school. He started trading. And by the time he was 21, he was a full-time trader in New York at a brokerage house, handling pretty good sized funds for the time, and actually became known as the boy plunger. Cornered the market from the short side in 1912, I think. Something that had never been done before. I don't know if you'd say cornered. He had such a big enough position on that not even the banks could move against him when the market crashed. And he actually got a phone call from the the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange, asking him not to sell any more stocks when the market crashed because they didn't believe that there'd be a way to recover from that. So free was king for a day. The boy plunger made it all on the short side. Um, 21 years old, $100 million in one day. back when 100 million was a lot of money. The important thing to remember is that he started from nothing with nothing and asked just simple questions to get there. Just simple questions. And I think that we need to remember that those simple questions that we ask, we're asking that to the world. You know, what is this for? What is that for? Why do we do this? What do we need this for? Blah, blah, blah. There's going to be somebody who steps up and says, why do you need to know that? That's stupid. That'll never happen. That doesn't matter. What are you wasting your time for? Blah, blah, blah. Don't spend a minute listening to those people. If you are in a relationship with someone like that and you value what you're doing as a trader, then say goodbye to that person. I'm not a firm believer that somebody in your life is irreplaceable. Anyone who holds you back from getting where you want to be, you need to cut loose. Now, I'm not saying that's everybody, but I'm saying for the most part, people that you meet casually, people in the office, people from, I don't know, your bowling team, your Ferrari club, whatever. If they get on your case about what you're trying to do, get rid of those people. Stay with the people who encourage you and work with you and want to help you succeed, because you can get where you want to go. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you started from, what you know, what you don't know, what your background is, what your age is, what your intelligence level is, what your social position is, where you live in the world. None of that matters anymore. It's a level playing field, and if you want to win, you can figure this out if you really want it bad enough. And that's why I provide the information and help that I do. So consider me your friend in the business. So thank you to Mark Twain today. I'll be back tomorrow with tomorrow's Daily Discipline. In between now and then, feel free to drop me a line. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, and we'll see if we can't make this the best 5 to 8 minutes of your day every day. So have a good one, guys. I'll see you next time. Thanks.